Welcome back to a Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is WindyCityThetanWatch. We are headed towards the org from State Street. So I came in from State Street. We're about to get up to Dearborn. Haven't seen anybody out here. Bit of an overcast, and it's a cool day. It's maybe mid to high 50s. Overcast. I do have a new logo in the upper right-hand corner. Trying to keep it a little bit more branded to us and Windy City Thetanwatch, instead of just being SPTV. Now there is the little SPTV as part of the logo. I'm going to head down Dearborn and come to the org on Polk Street today. Good morning, no one. Howdy, Shag Nasty. That name looks new to me. Welcome. Howdy, Hans. Thank you, Dee. And there's a poll up on the community tab with a few of the logo possibilities. I do like this dark logo. Yeah. What's chilly on the West Coast? I did the first set of logos that I put up. I didn't really notice it, but that font has odd spacing after the T, so it gives you an extra space after the T, and that's why WCT, and then it looks like there's a space and then a W. So I kind of just handcrafted that. Welcome in, Shag Nasty. Howdy, mods. Yeah, so we're about the same. No one. I think we're 57 here. Want to just kind of go over something that I talked about yesterday, and that howdy, Jay. Everybody, Jay Bot was our first super chatter, and I really appreciate that. On Sunday afternoon, after I did the drone footage, and by the way, the drone footage should be up within about 45 minutes. I scheduled it to go up after this starts. Hi, Corn. Corn, you're in the drone footage. I talked to one of the fathers of a Columbia student. He was there to take his son out to dinner. They do that, basically every other week. He's down here to take him out to dinner. And he kind of said, hey, why are you guys here all the time? And I know it puts pressure on the college students that they live on camera. But the idea is that if we're not here, the org is able to operate in full force. So they have their windows open. The books will be out. Like when we get there today, unless they watch the notifications, when we get there today, the windows will likely be up. The shades will likely be up. The door will be open. When we get there, they'll close that down. So if we're not here, they're a full retail operation. They don't have any struggles with their body routers being out and passing out flyers, right? We can't challenge and confront in that space. So I do think it's important that we're here all the time. So I'm going to turn the camera around as we approach the org. Hey, Ellie. Thanks for being here. I'm also going to try to do a little bit better about branding the thumbnails. I know I've been all over the board on just putting just obscure images out there. So we're basically going to have, I think that we'll always have three kinds of videos. One of them I'm kind of branding as on the street, and that's the audits and protests. So when I'm out here, one of them is going to be in the studio, and that's going to be if I'm going over like the FOIA requests, or if we're going over, I've got something coming up on F. Stefto and her protests don't work BS, because I think she's absolutely wrong. I think that they do work, and I think that they're very effective. And then there'll be another type that'll be basically interviews. So right now we've got the interview that we have with Trashy. I do plan on having other interviews. Hello, Suppressing Squirrel. So we're heading north on Clark, up towards the org. Doors are open right now. If you're on the live, a like would be awesome. If you're on the replay crew, please go ahead and leave a comment for the algorithm. Yeah, the blinds are already down. So it might be that they've already had a protester out here. It might be that they're monitoring the chat, or they're monitoring the channel. So right now we just saw somebody bounce up the stairs, long dark hair, ponytail. The door is open. Blinds are closed. Excellent. Oops. Excellent corn. Keep us posted. Let's head around back just to see if there's anything there. So we've already checked State Street and we've already checked Dearborn. So this is the student that went into the college the night of the recruiters. So the one with the pink hair. She was here that first night that I saw the college recruiters come up, and she walked out of the Scientology building and directly into the Columbia College student housing and badged herself in. So she is a student there. Hi, Parody. Welcome in. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna head around back real quick. Now remember, 12:40 is usually staff change. So I'll try to get back up to the front door before they start coming in. Now, one thing that might be happening is they might have already been alerted and asked to go to the back door. I'm gonna head over here. Folks, just a heads up, I've got family coming in from out of town this Thursday, so I'll probably be quiet for about a week, at least live-wise. I might do some studio work if I can find the time to do that. But it's nobody's silencing me. I'm just spending some time with family that's in from out of town. No, that one was in, oh, darn it, what's that neighborhood? It's Streeterville. Streeterville was where Jesse claimed he was beat up. Streeterville's a neat neighborhood because that's reclaimed land. The Chicago, Lake Michigan always had a loose boundary with land. So there would be swampy areas as the water was coming close to the land. And eventually they started filling that in. And Streeterville gets its name from, I can't remember what Streeter's first name is, but he considered himself to be a captain. And he kind of squatted there and made himself the de facto mayor of, and tried to create an independent town. And he was very successful for many years. That he was the de facto mayor. They kind of kept the police at bay. The police didn't care. Again, it was kind of useless land. It had been recovered land, so it wasn't solid enough yet that any building could take place. And then eventually the land became valuable, and they decided that, hey, Streeter, you got to give that up. So here we see the Scientology trash bin. We can see the chains here. The chain is not locked right now. Well, it's locked, but it's not securing the garbage can. And we still have the SPTV Foundation phone number there. So anybody who's out here doing the garbage can see that. The can is empty right now. So there's nothing in there. There's no activity back here. Remember, we've got Paisans right here. And then the next three doors are going to be Scientology. So this is the main rear entrance to Scientology. This is another one, but normally this is a place where the Scientologists will come out to do a smoking break, and they'll kind of pry the door open. I have never seen this door opened. It's a, right, that door has a shutter system on it, and you can lift the shutter up, and then there's a door behind it. Now, something I've never noticed before, but it's probably always been there, is there's a little lock down there. So even if you attempted to try to spin this chain, which would lift that garage door, the door is locked, so you wouldn't be able to lift it. And I'll show you one more treat as we're back here. These are just parking posts that are protecting the generators that are behind us, right? So the SPTV Foundation information is here. And then one of our Chicago YouTubers has put out this page as well that has all kinds of survivors and channels of Scientology. Are you the professor in that space? Or I guess you'd be the auditor, right? When I had the drone up, one of the things that I thought was very funny, it could have been the sun just as much as me, but I was able to force blind tech on the 4th floor of the org. So they did pull the shade down. I also saw just a random staffer walking past a window. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on at a given window above street level. Get you into some sticky situations. So we're back over to Clark Street. I'm going to hit the street side of the sidewalk, or the outermost element, just to kind of keep the camera off pedestrians. And I'm going to ask a favor of the Chicago Scientology crew. If we can, let's try to keep the cameras off of civilians and people unrelated to the church. Right? I understand that we're going to miss a couple of publics entering, and we're going to miss a little bit, but let's try to maintain a good relationship with the college students and neighbors, and relieve some of that pressure that they feel where their lives are on camera. Yeah, mine is ordered. Oops. The drone was fun. The drone is a little bit interesting, right? Because there's so much wind whipping down in here. I need to really pay attention to it or concentrate on it. So I can't be doing much else at that time. So here we've got a staffer coming out. Anything positive about the cult you want to tell my audience? No, there's nothing positive about the cult. So he mouthed the word no, and he shook his head a little bit. When I was a wee lad, I did like to draw a little bit. So we'll see if I've got any of those skills. It's been a while since I was a wee lad. I do not have chalk today. There is chalk on the way. Here we've got a staffer running in at 12:30. We'll see if she tries the old locked door on this one. But anything positive to say about the church? You know, ideal orgs is squirrel technology. L. Ron Hubbard didn't want ideal orgs. David Miscavige is a squirrel. I think the other one I want to be reminding them of is the idea that fundraising was not intentional. We've got Chadwicke coming down the street. There's some beautiful flowers in there today. We don't see security in there today. So Chad went into the Dunkin' up the street. How are we doing today? Oh, Yawn-tech, that's awesome. You're a half tone up on me, right? Get that half tone in. I'm guessing also heading up for lunch. So we'll see where they head into. Yep. They're going all the way up to Harrison. So I'll kind of keep my eye on them. Did not look like they had flyers. They wear very, very tight clothing. If they were to put something in their pockets, you would see what it was in their pockets. They definitely are looking backwards to see if I'm still paying attention to them. And they're going to turn east on Harrison, so they're headed towards the lake. Yeah, I imagine that was part of it. How you doing, Magic Mike? Welcome in. Corn, I want to remind you that one of the greatest things about the Chicago fire was it enabled the architects to have a fresh chance at building anew. So every time they erase, we get to draw something new. We never have to be stuck with our artwork. Yeah, especially the females really wear, they just wear tight clothing. The older gentleman, right, with the thinning hair that walked past me and he shook his head no, he went into Pat's Pizza and he's now outside on the phone. So what we'll have to do is check and see if they're trying to route people to the back alley. I'm just going to have to keep on looking forwards and backwards, or up and down the street for that. Howdy. One of the other places that the staff, again, there's a couple of lower cost places. So the 7-Eleven is a place where I'm seeing people have lunch quite a bit as well. There's some grab and go choices. I don't see anything that's in a $50 a week band, but they've got to eat something. Cops are coming by, but they're not related to this. We have not really seen police recently. I don't know if the police are getting tired of coming out or if Scientology has given up on calling the police. What else is interesting out here? I'm not seeing too much different out here today. The older gentleman with the thinning hair decided to keep going north, away from the org. You're right. I totally forgot about that. That I was reminded to try and get back to the org. But again, I'm going to say non-event. The police didn't have a threatening tone, not a harassing tone. They didn't like that I asked them what the call was for because they said, hey, I already told the other people. I'm going to have to remember in those situations that, well, I'm not with the other people. I'm asking you, what was the call for? One of the things that we saw, was it yesterday when I came and the windows were open and there was a, I don't know what we call them. Like when they route somebody in off the street, I know it's called raw meat. I don't want to call people raw meat. But there was somebody sitting at the first video and thanks, Tom. There was somebody sitting at the first video element. Here comes Chadwicke. Hey, Chadwicke. Are we okay that Ideal Orgs is Squirrel Tech? LRH didn't want them? Fundraising is not an LRH's plan either. So nobody obeys source? I do remember that. And suppressed squirrel, I know they're called raw meat, but I feel really bad calling human beings raw meat. Thank you, Tracy. You know what? I've had a couple of people leave comments that they're not getting notifications. Here's one of our smoking friends. So always check and see, you know, I appreciate it if you can just check to make sure that you're always subscribed here. I usually give, you know, 15, 20 minutes notice up to an hour. I'm always fearful that if I give too much notice, there's two things. One, am I going to remember that I'm supposed to be here? And two, is it too easy to alert the org? Are you okay that they won't let women report crimes against them? Yeah, Parity, what I'd be curious about though, does that override any of original sources technology, right? So now LRH isn't here to defend himself and he can't tell them not to do it anymore. Is it just now David Missavige's cult? Yeah, that's probably true. My guess is it's just kind of an unwritten rule. And they've probably had enough turnover. Now, there are some very, very veteran people that are still Scientologists and have been Scientologists since they were born. And they would have adherence to LRH or loyalty to LRH. But as they keep on getting new members, the memory of LRH fades, right? So, and he was a prolific writer. There's no way in the world that all of these new people are reading all of his writings. So, are you the right-hand man, Tom? So it's Dave and Tom. You okay that David Miscavige is a squirrel? Fundraising is not supposed to be how orgs work. They're supposed to work totally on the course payment. But nobody wants to take courses, so we get the big whales, right? Anything positive to say about the church? Door-tech done. When you see me lifting this, we're really just setting it up so that give a little bit of relief to the neighborhood people. Did you learn anything positive? Is it okay that David Miscavige is a squirrel? Ideal orgs are not supposed to exist. Everything's supposed to look like St. Hill. This is not St. Hill. Yep, 7-Eleven. Occupied by a cult and granting no taxes to the city. Oh, come now. We know that door's locked. Don't use your reactive mind. Use your analytical mind. You should know that that door is locked. Are you still mocking your reactive mind? When will you stop doing it? So sometimes we learn that locked doors are locked doors. Why does a cult have to hide behind curtains and doors? I was wondering what you saw the guy that came out to close the doors. By the way, we have his name. His name is Chad as well. He was looking at this post quite intently, and so somebody, Dandelion Village, no idea who they are, put a sticker on here. And since it's not an anti-Scientology, they have no problem leaving the sticker there. Let's see if they call the police. Yeah. It feels like children getting angry at their parents for spending their inheritance. Hey, you're wasting my money. I could eat better. I could sleep better. I could wear clothes that fit. You'll notice, so if you go to my website, sorry, I'll go ahead and bring that up for just a second. Either one of these two URLs, they go to the same place. The most recent blog post is a bunch of images of the people that are in this org and their names. And Chad's one of them. Now, in the picture, he looks rather thin. So he's, how you doing? Anything positive about the church? We saw the custodial worker yesterday. He was, he put the shrink wrap from the pallets in the garbage can. Now, I'm going to give credit here a little bit that it's usually not people that are on the highest moment, right? So a person who is having great success in life and comes across the church, they're probably not a great candidate, right? That they already have positive feelings. But somebody who's low on their life, right? So you just had a relationship fail, you lost a job, anything just negative, or you have you've fallen into a slight depression. This church at its lowest levels have coursework that is self-help and reasonable, and it's effective. Now I'm going to say that it's a correlation, it's not a causation in that regard, right? Hey, have positive thoughts. Think nice of other people. Enact the golden rule. So the introductory elements of this church are reasonable. And again, I actually don't mind people that practice the tech. We know plenty of people that do other silly things, and I don't think the tech works. But if the tech works for you, that's great. What I don't like is the idea that the criminal enterprise and the business that this is. And I know it's not multi-level, because multi-level means that you get multiple generations of income. But it is if you bring somebody in, you get money for life as long as that person's in. So it is a money scheme in this space. And there's some idealism, right? What person doesn't want to say, yes, I want to save the world, right? Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to say that it's even worse than that, right? The children, the abuses in general, right? SA, I don't care what age the victim is not something I'm okay with. Elder abuse, not something I'm okay with. Financial fraud, not something I'm okay with. The people that are just in such financial ruin because of this organization. And sometimes it's that they're coerced, right? That their individuality has been stripped. Their adaptiveness to the group is what causes them to spend their money on coursework. Yep, the cult can't work it only can work in the shadows.
They got something secret going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was open earlier.
Yep, they don't like when I'm here. So you just heard, right, that you may not. I don't have my other mic out, but the person said, "Hey, the blinds were open earlier." Okay, it's 12:45. This is a little bit interesting. I'm used to seeing more activity. This could be one of any number of things, but one, it might be that the staff surge is over, right? We know that they surged up the staff to get things going here. They would have brought in Sea Org members and other staff members from other locales to help kickstart the recruiting in the org. Real quick, we'll walk down to the bottom and just check the alley. I don't think that I'm seeing people pass by. It might be the weather. It might be that they're trying to change the hours to trip us up as the protesting group. But yeah, this looks just slower than what we've seen in past weeks. Heading down to the bottom just to see if we can peek down the alley. Also org. So that was staff going up the street. Hello, Annette. Hopefully all is well in Vegas. I like this. So the rest, and that's a fairly smart idea, business-wise, right? Let's not have the staff working here for an hour and a half with no customers. Give them a break. So down there, you can see kind of a tractor it's got a little forklift on the front with cinder block. So they're cinder blocking in the building behind the org. If you look down there, right up in the air, you see the blue, and that's netting to keep people from walking off the edge of the construction. But they're weathering in the ground floor today, and there's a lot of activity in the alley with a little tractor with forklift. Hello, Aaron. And oops, sorry. Stop chatting. No. I think this is a true statement that because of the way that they silo work, very few people understand what's going on in here. And the staff members who are not on the, at least not high on the bridge to total freedom, or they're working the audit side, not the other side, have no understanding of what's going on here. And again, at these lowest levels, even the new members here, all they really know about is the neato stuff with the way to happiness, how to find wealth, how to work on relationships, those very easy, fundamental, I can get self-help anywhere type books. So they're likely very unaware of, I'll say, the criminal enterprise that is this organization. Now, I do feel that they're all suffering because their stats have to be down with how much we're able to stop them from passing out flyers and from confronting the people as they walk up to the org. Reminder, yesterday we had the drone up, and that one might be up soon. So that video is supposed to go up at the top of the hour. So in about 10 minutes, that video will be up, and you'll see the protesters that were out here on Sunday and all of the chalk artwork that they were able to put in. When I first got up, this door got here. This door was open. Hey, guys. The blinds were down already, but we just heard one of the neighbors walk by and say, hey, those were open earlier. And yeah, they're probably monitoring channels in this space. So. Yeah, we should help Aaron out as much as possible. He's probably struggling for subs lately. I'm very curious to the live that got disrupted yesterday on his channel. I don't. Oh, no flyers today. I love it. So that was a guy that was going to come out and do flyers. He saw me, and you saw that he immediately retreated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of post up at the top of the street, because now what they're going to do is he'll try to come out the front or the back. By the way, that was the biggest stack that I ever saw him have. Normally he's got about 2 inches of flyers. He had to have had 3 to 4 inches there. But I'm going to head up to the top of the alley, or the top of the street, and just keep eyes on the alley to see if he comes out the back or the front. One thing, I don't know if you saw it because it was pretty quick, right? You saw him come out, he saw me, he immediately retreated. He also is out of uniform, in my opinion. He is wearing brown tennis shoes. He is not wearing black dress shoes. Absolutely not. That is one of my favorite videos. If you go back and look at the channel, there's a 6-minute video on the videos. So it wasn't a live, I edited it down. There's a 6-minute video where the security guard keeps on trying to figure out if I'm out here and giving them the all clear notice. And every time they would come out, they just run right into me. There was at one point, I said, you know what, I'm gonna let them get away from the org so that they'll have to take a longer walk of shame. And it just so happened that they did. Yep, still not. So they're brown tennis shoes with like green foam, but look who we see. Where's he going? Hi, Quiz, how you doing? I'm gonna move out. So he'll look back down the aisle, or he'll look back down this way and not see me, and he'll turn around and he'll start walking this way. This is my funnest thing. I'm blinds is really fun, but watching these guys struggle not to be able to pass out flyers is just a joy. I have no reason to believe it wasn't. I know that he said he's going to kind of jump around to lives every once in a while. See, if I go away, he thinks so. I'm out of his view. He thinks it'll be safe to come down here, and I just wait a couple of minutes, pop back out, and he's not going to be able to. Three in a row. So he came back again. And I know I've got it on. I'll switch it to the big zoom. So that'll get you a little bit further down there, right? And now what's worse is he came out the back door, so he's locked out until they come to the back door and let him in. This is tough. I do have a client meeting this afternoon, but I think I just want to play tag with our fella. Now he's going down to the south end. He's going to try and go down to Polk. Hi, Jordy. That seems like a new name. Welcome in. Remember, keep in mind, today, there is usually not this much construction in the alley. On the very low floor, they're cinder blocking in where the elevator shaft is for that building. So the central core is what they're working on right now. So he keeps on looking back. I don't know if you can see it, even though I've got the zoom out there. He's going to go down to Polk, and he's going to try and go across that street. So I might head over to Polk. Oh, there's two staffers coming down the street right now. Three. So you can see the three blue coats down there? I'll go back to the alley real quick and then come back. How you doing? Yeah, he's not here, so he's probably walking down Polk towards Clark. Staffers getting their smoke in. No, you can walk this way. Anything positive about the cult that you want to talk about? No, you can't share anything positive about your cult? So I did bypass Clark fairly intentionally because my expectation is that he's going to try to slide along Polk. Sorry, folks, it's a little bit harder for me when I've got the telephoto to keep stuff in frame. Now, the other one is, right, you saw him pull the phone out. So our expectation is he can't be watching me on YouTube. I doubt that he's got the privilege to do that. But people in the org most likely are. Yeah, he just crossed Dearborn down there. So he's still on Polk. He just walked across Dearborn at the bottom. The gold is very easy to see. Howdy, folks. I'm not able to watch chat real well right now because I've kind of got my head on a swivel watching for our body router.
Is it cheaper?
Yeah, and that's the least of things that they can't watch, right? When you hear Tori talk about, hey, let's put this software on your machine so that it can help you, and then we find out that it's like a net nanny. Sorry, we're walking past the Jones College Prep, and I just don't need to have a bunch of kids on camera. We're on State Street right now. I'm going to head down towards Polk, see if I can catch him. Now, again, I'm trying to be a little bit tricky here, and there's quite a bit of ground to cover between, it's basically 2 city blocks to get down there. So he can backtrack at any point in time. He's really trying to get out of the zone so that I won't be able to keep eyes on him. Also, just a reminder, this is one of those reasons why you don't have to be a streamer to be down here, but it's incredibly helpful when we have multiple people that are able to be down here. Just more eyes on the staff and the body routers. I may have lost him just trying to be too cute to stay away from him, but we'll investigate. Like I said, he did go all the way down to Polk. He has tried to run on me a few times. Yeah, the gold vest and also the white sleeves, right, sticking out of that. All right, I'm going to head back towards the org and just kind of keep my eye scanning north and south. To see if I can find him peeking out. Sorry about the camera. Howdy, Dr. Mark. We're walking across Plymouth Court right now, coming up to Dearborn.
Oh, I can't even tell.
Yeah, not seeing him here on Dearborn either. Let's see if he went all the way back to Clark. And he may have been able to get out past me. I go up and around this block. So we're one block over. We're on Federal Street right now. There's a little park in the middle that every once in a while he'll pause in there to see if he can find me. Also, this would be a great time to have the drone where I could have the drone kind of follow him from a distance. But it's just too challenging right now to live stream and use the drone. I doubt that, Dr. Mark. And I appreciate all your support. And just a reminder, just viewing, watching, liking, that is supporting. It's helpful, right? It helps me understand that what I'm doing, has meaning or value. We did see the three ladies that were headed towards the org. Unfortunately, I couldn't really engage them because I was kind of trying to track down our body router. That body router will try to get out to Grant Park, and also will see him go into the train stations. I've had 2 different body routers go into the train stations and then spend a token to get down to the train platform. And I've just been unwilling to spend that. I don't get great reception if I'm down in the train station, so I don't like my security down there, as well as it doesn't help you at all if I'm just broadcasting a black screen. Go to the alley, but he's either retreated inside or he's escaped the zone. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything back here. What time is it? All right. I think I'm going to try to punch through to Grant Park because it's more likely that he tried to get to Grant Park than tried to get to the train station. So we'll do that. If we don't find him, we'll go ahead and close this stream and send us over to another live. But I'm gonna kind of jog on down. Definitely going to get some steps in today. So it kind of works this way. If they can stay on the streets near the org, that's their number one choice. Maybe it's lazy, but I typically don't think that staff workers are lazy. It's also the idea that, hey, the people that live closest are the most likely to come in. The next thing they'll do is they'll go to the train platforms. So as people come into the city and get off the train, they'll be down there handing it out, whether it's the subway or in Chicago we have the elevated, but the blue and the red are subways here in the city. They're elevated once you get outside the city center. Sorry. And then Grant Park is the next most populous place. So it's the tourist zone. It's the fastest throughway for people walking to and from work. If you're just joining us, right, the building here is Roosevelt University. This is one of their, and I'm on Zoom, so it looks challenging or too wide, but that's probably 1,000 units. I'll bet there's more than 1,000 units in that place. That's Roosevelt University. We've got the 2 hotels ahead of us. These are going to be well-to-do conference goers. That's not a great likelihood or a good pool of raw meat for them. We're coming up on Wabash. As we get to Michigan, we'll be at the Museum of Contemporary Photography, which is sponsored by Columbia University. And you'll see the Wall of Fame for many of their students have gone on to do great things. Still scanning to see if I can find them. Yeah, and suppressive, if we're at the organization, or at right for the org, there was a sticker on that light post, and you saw the guy who was doing door tech was incredibly interested in it, but it wasn't any of the squirrels doing. Hello, Sue. Now, if he's in comms with people back at the org, because I think that there are people at the org that are able to watch. I don't know that OSA would be directing him, or that OSA would even really, I'm sorry, OSA California. We know there's local OSA as well. I don't think California would be directing them, only because they'd be a little bit at a loss here. So here we see Michigan Avenue. We've got the park side right across there. I am not seeing our fellow in the gold vest. Not sure where he might have made it to. All right. Given that, I think I'm going to get ready for a client meeting that I've got coming up. Yeah, but what I wonder, oh, sorry. So are you thinking that non-Scientologists are getting more and more coverage of what's going on? Or do you think that inside of Scientology, they're calling it out more? Because internally, I think that they're very siloed, and if there are protests going on here, they will talk to the people here. They won't tell the rest of Scientology what's going on. Kind of out of sight, out of mind. And let's not get everybody worried about something if it's not happening where they're at, or let's not make them aware of the fact that the cult is under pressure. I will say that it's always kind of joyful to me to see how well they do an about face, right? The three women were going to do an about face as I walked over there, then they realized that I was going to blow past them. The body router did an about face once right at the door and 3 times in the alley. Yep. Excellent. Let's head over to see Denver J. Really appreciate everybody being here. There should be a video up with the drone shortly. I'll go ahead and close this, but thank you all so much for being here and so being so supportive and so civil. Yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. Bye, everybody. I will see you maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow.